Hello there. Whoa, that's loud. Hello there, aspiring tennos. This premise of this video is actually quite simple. I've looked at the price of every single last weapon, or at least the price of the ribbon for every single last weapon in the game. Primaries, secondaries, melee weapons, arc guns, kit guns, saws, all of them except for companions, but that's a bit irrelevant. Anyways, so this took forever to make. So if you could do me a huge favor and spend some of the time you don't have to do making all of these calculations because I did it for you, and subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Also, if you have any questions at all regarding Warframe, take the Discord. There's a lot of knowledgeable people over there that's gonna help you. Also, I'm streaming on Twitch. All of it will be down in the description, alongside with this spreadsheet here and a lot of other helpful tools I've made throughout time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and actually take a look at it. First up, let's go ahead and take a look at each of the different categories. First up here, actually let me zoom in a little bit more. We have the melee weapons. If you unveil the amount of melee weapons which there are available, on average you're gonna make 10,500. That's, you know, your earnings, not your profit, because you have to buy the mods in the first place. There is 131 different melee ribbons at this time, and the average cost of them, not your profit but the price of them, is 80. All right, let's go and move on. This is the primaries. As you can see here, a little bit less of a profitability here. Then we have the secondaries. Same idea. Now, the secondaries is a little bit interesting to talk about because the price per unveiled ribbon is a lot higher here. I'm sorry, it's lower, but proportionately, the pistol ribbons are a lot cheaper than the melee or the primaries. However, there's a lot of these pistols here, especially the ones which cost 10, 25, 28, so on and so forth. They basically don't sell. So be prepared that some of these will take potentially months, and I'm talking up to 6 months to sell sometimes. They are unwanted. There are some of these which are just so bad that no ribbon can save them, and therefore the ribbons for them are completely unwanted. Please keep that in mind. That's also kind of true for some of the upcoming stuff here. If you look at the arc guns, for example, the Corvus, Singas, Gradler, for example. I guess the Gradler has the Kuva variant now, but Larkspur, no one wants these. They don't sell. They don't sell at all. Also, whoops. Anyways, but there is not that many arc guns, and the ones which do sells for quite a lot, and the arc gun ribbons are very cheap, and you can usually put up even cheaper buy orders as well, so you know, keep that in mind. That's one of the advice that I'll give in a moment in more detail, so stay tuned for that. Kit guns, don't advise it, and most of them don't sell. Spore Lancer is the only one that really does, and it's not that profitable. You know, a very low average price on that. I wouldn't recommend it. We have a decent price over here for the SARS. SARS are definitely better than kit guns, but not by that much. Again, I wouldn't really. Another problem with doing something like SARS is that there is not that many of them, and if you open up, let's say 2 Me 1 for example, then you're gonna have to compete with yourself, because you have to sell one of them at a given price before you can sell the other one at that same price. So it's gonna take even longer to get rid of it. Now this here is well, you can see here we have the average price up here, and that's how much they sell for on average. The cost of buying them, the unveiled versions, the amount of profit, which is just a difference between this one and this one, and then we have the hourly profit, and that's assuming that you can run it in 7 minutes. Now, I don't recommend that you go out and buy these in bulk, because bulk is going to be more expensive when it comes to these. People don't normally have a lot of these ribbons. If they do, they tend to open them themselves. So people who do have them in bulk are people who have deliberately been collecting them with the intent of selling them in bulk with a convenience tax on top. Now, my personal recommendations is melee, because the thing about melee is that it's not that interesting of a weapon type. Most melee weapons are pretty samey, and all of them are above average. Some of them are just like a lot above average. Obviously Cronin Prime is better than most melee weapons, but you don't have any truly terrible melee weapons. The stock, for example, which is a secondary, you don't have the equivalent of that in melee. All melee is pretty decent. So to some extent it comes down to preference. Therefore none of them are truly terrible to try and sell, though you should expect that it can still take up to a month. That's something you really have to keep in mind when doing this, even though the profit is really high. I mean 300 something per hour, yes please, and you probably can do it a little bit faster than 7 minutes, but you know, not if you have to buy them. I really recommend going on to warframe.market and just putting up buy orders, at least for primaries, melee, and maybe archons if you want to do that as well. And then just wait for people to sell it to you, and once you have a decent amount, then you can go ahead on a spree opening up all of them at once. That's pretty much all there is to it. Just be aware that it's not quick instant profit, but the overall value you're gonna add to your inventory is pretty incredible. I have done this in the past and I got some pretty good gains. I got really lucky and got 2 Kuva Brahma when it was at its most expensive, and I think it was like 1300 ish in terms of price, but still, even if I hadn't got the second one, which was lucky, then I still would have made good profit. But let me warn you right now, I spent a lot amount of time just waiting on the last couple of ones to get sold. Eventually I just threw up my hands, and I think I had 12 left, and I sold those as like a bundle of trash and made basically nothing of them, because I was just so tired of waiting on them. So yeah, it is pretty decent. It is very slow going, so don't do this unless you can do without the planned costs to invest in the first place for a while. But otherwise, go for it. It's a pretty fun way to make platinum, and it's a nice break from a lot of the monotony that comes with trading. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.